Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he had sat down, his disciples came to him. He began to teach them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when they insult you and persecute you and utter every kind of evil against you falsely because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
So this gospel passage always been a big struggle for me for many reasons. First, because you can have an entire theological study on every single sentence of this gospel passage, because it's very deep. It's very deep, and I always wonder what can you say in a homily, and to make it not too long so that, people don't fall asleep and stuff like that, especially with a 7:30 Mass in the morning. And but I was trying to think, more than the message is to think what it felt like for the people who were seated there on that hill. I mean, it's not like a huge mountain, it's mostly like a hill, because sometimes they use the term mountain, but it's not like the Rockies, Jesus was on the top of the Rocky and you try to see him with binoculars, and it's not like that. It's it's kind of hilly. Those of you, I don't know if any of you has a chance to go to Galilee once, but it's more, they have mountains, but it's not like, it's hilly. It's definitely higher than any mountains in Indiana. But the point is that just to put ourselves into that situation, thinking of your own life, your own suffering, what you're going through. And imagine that, put yourselves there. What was it like for the people who suffer the same thing as we do? Poverty, problem with chastity, problem with attachment, dependence, divorce, all sort of, put it there. Everything you go through, all the daily life, the daily joy as well. Your family, your kids, your everything, your work. And here you have Jesus coming and saying these words. What was it like? To imagine Christ saying these things. Blessed are you, the poor in spirit, for there's the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn. You have someone who died in your family. You lost someone you love. They will be comforted. Blessed are the meek. They inherit the land. Hunger and thirst for righteousness. How much are we looking today, especially today, when you open the social media and all those titles all over the place about the government and all these things? hunger for righteousness. How many people are thirsting for righteousness today? And they will be satisfied. At least to me, it brings two things. Two things. First, it brings a lot of hope. A lot of hope in this life. And second, a lot of hope about eternity. And I think this is partly what Jesus wanted to bring to these people. They said, listen, this life have a meaning as long as you have your eyes in eternity. As long as don't lose sight of eternity. If you believe in that, if you believe in heaven, then your life now will make sense. And you will start already to taste, so to say, some part of that heaven that I want you to be. But there will be suffering, definitely, because when you make the decision to follow Christ, to do His will, there's a cross that comes with it. And you already know that. There's nothing new in there. You already have suffering. You already, as Catholics, you already know what it means to follow Jesus. I told you in the beginning of Mass that, I'm from Canada, and Canada, I mean, at least that part where I'm from, used to be extremely practicing. Used to be. Now it's no longer, forget about it. It's just like, masses, they are closing churches and stuff like that. It's pretty sad, actually. I mean, I'm laughing now, but it's not good. It's not good. But, to be Catholic there, it means to be from another planet. You go to, I don't know if you've ever seen Western movies like spaghetti Western, all these old Western movies where the cowboy enter the saloon with the swing doors like this, and enter the saloon, and the guy playing piano just stop. Everybody stops and look at the cowboy entering like ching ching, and you hear his boots with the little thing in the back, and everybody in silence. They just look at you. Well, to be Catholic and to go in a restaurant to be a priest and to go to a restaurant in Montreal, that's the way it is. And it's really bad. It's just you enter McDonald's and everybody just starts staring at you, and it's tough. It's very tough. It's very tough, But blessed are you when they insult you and persecute you, and utter every kind of evil against you falsely because of me. Rejoice and be glad. Your reward will be great in heaven. Christ wants to give us a taste of heaven in this life. Because if you just think about the second, people will, you say, well, better end my life now and go straight to these, to be happy. No, that's not the point. Jesus said, you will be blessed in the future for the poor in spirit. You blessed, he's not said that. He's speaking of present. He's speaking of present. Blessed are you, those who are poor in spirit now, because this is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get. But it's always conditioned to follow Him. As long as all these things are beautiful, but they are conditioned that I follow Christ. I give Christ space in my life. So, and this is my invitation for this week, to really make sure and about two things. First, to try to put yourself into that situation where you are seated at the ground with all these people, like maybe 1,000 or whatever, how many people were there, but there were a lot of people there, and just listening Christ. I don't know if you've seen the movie, the series called The Chosen, but there's a beautiful scene of that. And it really helps you to imagine how it was like a little bit, at least to put yourself in that perspective. And to try, just imagine Christ saying you these things. Blessed are you, the poor in spirit. Blessed are you, blessed are the merciful. Blessed are the clean of heart. It's a challenge that He's giving to us to live these things, to be poor in spirit, to look for meekness, to be merciful, to be clean of heart. But always with eyes in heaven. Always with your eyes in heaven. What would it be like for me to be face to face, to meet Jesus again? That friend, that friendship that He wants me to start now. He wants a friendship that will never die. And the friendship that will never die. You can imagine that. To have a friend that will never let you down, ever. Here it is. Here's the man right there talking to you. And so my invitation is to do that, is to think, okay, well, first to imagine yourself receiving these words, and second, to think what is stopping me to hope in heaven. Like if Jesus would come and pick me up now, is there anything that would stop me to be with Him? And if so, address it. Address it. Do what is necessary to be close to Christ, to stay with Him. Whatever it has to be changed in your life, change it. Because as long as you're alive, it's a chance that God is giving you to change and to choose Him. Every day it's an opportunity to do that. But we need to take it, not just on Sundays. Not just on Sundays. It's every day of our lives. So in this Mass, we can entrust that in God's hands. Pray God especially to help us to make that choice, because it's not easy. He knows first. He knows that we suffer. He knows that the cross can be heavy. And He's not going to remove it. He's going to help us to carry it. That's what He's going to do. With the intercession of Mary, with the saints, with all, but He will help us to carry it. And we will be proud of ourselves in carrying that cross. But we need to search for these things. We need to keep hope. We need to keep hope. This world needs people who live in hope, in faith, hope, and love. All those three. And so let us entrust that to God. When we come to Mass like this, great opportunity to ask for these graces as to persevere in that friendship that will last forever.